Oh, yeah! The Hunger Games. I was really looking forward to this movie because I read the book and I loved it. Probably one of my top 4 books I've ever read. We read it for a college class and I was like, this book looks really stupid. And then I read it and I was completely changed. So compared to the book, this movie was actually really accurate. As all movies that have book to movie translations, if you're looking at how good it was from portraying what was in the book to the movie, it would be up there with Lord of the Rings. Like, it portrayed it really well. They didn't leave much out, and if they did, it's because it's a movie, not a book, and they needed to leave it out. So that was really good. I really liked how they did that. This movie got compared to the Twilight movies a lot. I don't know why. They are nothing alike. One is actually good, and one sucks. I did watch the new Twilight movie when it came out last year. But this movie is a lot better. First off, the main reason why it's different is the acting. Jennifer Lawrence is the main actress in this movie. She is fantastic. I didn't know how well she would do in the leading role, but she did a great job. I wouldn't have picked any other actress over her for this role. The supporting cast was fantastic. Gail, her friend, when she goes back home, it's her like all-time best friend growing up. He's like really handsome dude that's big and really honorable. He takes care of her family while she's gone. He was great acting, and he really made you like him off the very first little bit. You only see him a few times in this movie, and you really love him the little bit that you do see him. And then the other guy that's in the Hunger Games with Katniss, Peeta, he falls in love with her, and Katniss pretends to fall in love with him, and they end up like really liking each other, and that like love that they find in that is really good. It draws you in, and it's not like the dorky, oh, she's in love because he's hot. No, it's like because they have to save each other, and they just really end up liking each other. But then she goes back home, and she has to go back to Gail, who she's always liked. And so that was really good the way they did that. The book portrayed that a lot better because that love struggle was really strong because she ended up really loving Peeta and Gail at the same time in the book. In the movie, it's more like she just loves Gail, not really loves Peeta. It's more of a game. But they still do it well, and I really like it. And Peeta's acting in this movie is great. He sells you from the moment you see him. They call out his name in the reaping, and they're like, Peeta Millark, and you see him, and you're just like, oh, wow. He does not want to go. Like, you could just tell. He was a great actor. Primrose, Katniss's little sister, you only see her a little bit in this movie, and she did a great job. When they called her name, even though you knew it was coming because of the previews, and if you read the book, you knew she was going to get drawn from the cup. When her name was drawn, I felt sorry. Like, I was like, oh, man, I don't want her to go. Like, she's little and young, and they did a great job portraying that. That was probably the most moving part in the movie. There is one more part later on when Katniss's friend Rue gets killed. I was like, man, and I didn't really feel too sorry at the moment it happened, but afterwards when she does this whole thing to District 11, boy, it hit me. I think I cried, actually. I did cry. Yeah, I cried. Just gonna say it. If a movie can make me cry in the theater, it's a good movie. So that was awesome. The soundtrack for this movie was great. They played the sounds perfectly. The camera work in this movie was different. It had a lot of camera work where it seemed like it was a person with a camera like this, like running around, but it wasn't like anything like Cloverfield. It wasn't like that. But it was kind of a different style. I'm not sure I really liked it yet, but it kind of added to the movie, so it was really good in that way. It was different, which was really good. 3 things I really look to in a movie to make it good is the acting, the camera work, and the soundtrack. And it had all 3 of those. Acting was good. I wouldn't say the acting was great. It was definitely really good, though. Camera work, I would say it was just good, and the soundtrack was great. So it had all 3 of them. There were a few things I didn't like about this movie. First off, it seemed to be missing something, the meat of the story. There seemed to be something in the movie that was just like, it was missing something. I don't know what it is. Not really a big deal, but if I was to put this up as one of the greatest movies of all time, I would never mention this movie. Maybe greatest trilogies if the second and third movie are any good. But as of right now, I would just put it as one of the better movies of the year, but I wouldn't even consider it a great movie. It definitely doesn't have the full movie. It's a great movie. I'm going to buy this movie because it's the greatest all time. I will buy this movie, probably on Blu-ray, because and especially if they come out with an extended edition, which they might do, it could be really good. I think it would be one of those movies, if you're going to buy it on Blu-ray if you have a Blu-ray player, because the quality of it will just be good and the sound is great. I don't know if I would really go buy it because of, oh, the movie's just so good, but I'll own it, I'm sure. Rating-wise, I gave it an 8 and an 8. 8 for awesomeness, 8 for quality. Pretty solid movie, nothing fantastic, but it was still worth it. Does this compare by any chance to Lord of the Rings? No, not even close. Lord of the Rings was so much better. I would put this with like the Harry Potter movies, where it was great movies. Even if you didn't read the books, this was still a good movie. If you didn't read the Harry Potter books, the movies are like, this is stupid. This movie, even if you didn't read the book, from what I've been hearing from other people that have not read the book, because I did, they said, oh, it was a great movie anyways, I didn't even read the book. Most people that saw Harry Potter said, Harry Potter is only good if you read the book. I don't think this movie's really worth an Oscar by any chance. A lot of good movies, they're like, oh yeah, he should get an Oscar for this, an Oscar for that. Nothing in this movie that deserved an Oscar nod for next year. The acting wasn't good enough to get Oscar nods because those have to be really good performances. Maybe sound. That would be the one that I think could get up there, would be the soundtrack or sound mixing, those kind of Oscars. But screenplay and all that, not a chance. So it's definitely not up there on that next level of greatness of movie. It would be compared to like Harry Potter movies, which didn't win hardly any awards, but still considered great. Did you see the movie? Did you like it? That's my review of it. I say go watch it for sure. It is worth it. I don't know where this Twilight comparison comes from because it's way better. Go watch it if you haven't. What did you think? If you saw it, let me know below in the comments. Please subscribe. It always helps. And I'll try to keep coming out with more reviews as they come. Let me know what you want to see next and what review you'd like me to do. As always, peace.